Hey folks, it's time for the quote of the day. And I'm not going to lie, I almost failed on this one. I was very, very close to just calling it and not worrying about the birthday thing and just going with something that felt good because I'll be honest, I searched like four different lists before I could find a name that I actually resonated with me and that I wanted to quote. There are people born on this day, but you only go do so much with like a guitarist who talks about, well, he does this. Like today's Les Paul's birthday, but he didn't really like all his quotes are about playing guitar. Like what is there I can't really talk about that. Okay? There's nothing against Les Paul. Just he didn't have a whole lot of great quotes. That being said, as I was basically giving up, I came across a name on the fourth list that the others had failed to mention for whatever fucking reason. And it was like I heard the angels and the light came off his name, and I was like, oh, I got it. I knew, and as soon as I saw his name, I knew what I was going to do for the quote, which is going to be a long one, so just buckle in for that. Um, Today is the screenwriter and playwright Aaron Sorkin's birthday. And now Aaron Sorkin, if you're not 100% sure who that is, if you've ever watched The West Wing or Sports Night or The Newsroom or A Few Good Men the movie, he did the screenplay for that. There's been like a lot. He's done so much. Those are just some of the big ones. He's done so much, and he's known for his kind of witty like banter and his kind of what they call it the walk and talk, where people will be walking down a hallway and they'll be talking really fast to each other, and everybody seems like they've got the script right, like they that's the timing of it. uh People don't really talk like that necessarily. Some of us can try to emulate it, and I certainly have in the past, but in general a lot of people don't really talk like that, but it's melodic, and it feels good to watch, and it makes you feel like the people are a whole lot smarter than they really are when you watch his writing and the people that act out his writing. Now, before I go any further, I should say if you are conservative or Republican, you're not going to like this. You're not going to like this. Aaron Sorkin is a proud Democrat. He's proud. I mean, and he is very left leaning in some areas and very liberal in other areas. But he is on that side of understanding and ideology, and it comes through in almost everything he writes. He focuses on his characters having empathy and intellect, two concepts that are just completely foreign to 95% of conservatives today. Just not something that they value. I mean, there are a few, but for the most part, we know that they have literally vilified the concept of empathy. So it's just important to understand if you are of that particular ideology, you're not going to appreciate what I'm going to say here for his quote of the day. Now, I want to set this up. I want to make sure that the people know what I'm doing here. I'm not an actor. I'm not Jeff Daniels. But there is a scene at the beginning of the series, The Newsroom. It kind of sets up the rest of the series, really, honestly, that I'm going to be reading today as the quote. Now, obviously, it's pretty long, but, and again, I'm not an actor, so I'm just going to be reading it with as much emotion as I can convey. But I just wanted to get this out because it's one of those things that kind of comes in and out of popularity. Sometimes, like around elections, people will, post this, and you'll see it in videos and stuff here. And but so a lot of people that are on the left and of that mentality are going to have seen this before. You're going to recognize it. You're going to know how it works. But for anybody that hasn't seen it, I'm just giving you this scene, and I'll set it up here for you. Basically, at the beginning of the scene, you've got a character played by Jeff Daniels. His name's Will McAvoy. The character's name is, and Will McAvoy is on stage at essentially like a college town hall, and he's got to one side he's got a liberal pundit, and on the other side he's got a conservative pundit, and there's a moderator on the stage as well, and there's a girl in the audience that stands up to ask her question, and her question is something to the effect of, what makes America the greatest country in the world, and the two pundits on either side say like nonsense. They're like freedom, and then opportunity, and then the everybody kind of focuses on Will McAvoy because he hasn't said anything, and the moderator says, well, what's your answer? And he kind of flippantly says freedom, right? What they said, whatever. And the moderator is like, no, I want to hear what you have to say on this. I think this is a good question for you. Now, keep in mind that Will McAvoy's character is a Republican. He's a disaffected disenchanted Republican. He's seen the writing on the wall. When this was written, it was 2011, late 2011, early 2012. And the writing was on the wall of the Tea Party, of the way things were going, basically the predecessors to what we know now as MAGA. It was all there. People saw it coming, and Aaron Sorkin certainly saw it coming and wrote about it in this. And essentially it was a warning shot to people, and nobody listened. And it's a sad thing, but basically, as the moderator is pressing him and saying, I want an answer, give me an answer, Will McAvoy says, "It's not the greatest country in the world, Professor. That's my answer." And everybody goes quiet, because who says that, right? And then the moderator says, "So you're saying," and he says, "Yes." And then the moderator tries to change the topic, and he's like, "Well, let's talk about it." And he's like, "Fine." And he sits up in his chair, getting ready to basically, he's frustrated and he's angry because he has to answer this question, and he doesn't really want to say what he's about to say. So he kind of goes back and forth in this next part to the liberal lady and the conservative guy that's on the stage. And he says to the liberal lady, "The NEA is a loser. Yeah, it counts for a penny out of our paychecks, but he," gesturing to the conservative guy, "gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money. It costs votes. It costs airtime and column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals were so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always? And you," and he points to the conservative guy, "with a straight face, you're going to tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world with freedom? Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom. And you, sorority girl, yeah, just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day, there are some things you should know. And one of them is that there is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. None of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you, nonetheless, are without a doubt a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yosemite? We sure used to be. We stood for what was right. We fought for moral reasons. We passed laws and struck down laws for moral reasons. We waged wars on poverty, not poor people. We sacrificed. We cared about our neighbors. We put our money where our mouths were, and we never beat our chest. We built great big things, made ungodly technical advances, explored the universe, cured diseases, and cultivated the world's greatest artists and the world's greatest economy. We reached for the stars. We acted like men. We aspired to intelligence. We didn't belittle it. It didn't make us feel inferior. We didn't identify ourselves by who we voted for in the last election, and we didn't scare so easy. And we were able to do all these things because we were informed by great men who were revered. The first step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. America is not the greatest country in the world anymore. This is without a doubt one of the best speeches I've ever heard. I think I've ever seen written. He's right. He was right then. He was right in 2011 and 2012 when it was released. He was absolutely right then. And we haven't done anything to fix it now, just entrench ourselves more and more in stupid, silly ideologies and whose team we're on. And we're more scared now than we've ever been. Today is Aaron Sorkin's birthday, and he wrote one of the most important pieces in modern history that we need to all understand. So happy birthday to him. And to the rest of you, take care of yourself. Take care of others. I'll talk to you soon.